Some psychopath is trying to become TikTok famous at the expense of my daughter. Part 2. I couldn't stop pacing back and forth in my living room after seeing my daughter in that horrid emotional state in the tent, which was one of the worst feelings that I've ever felt. The anger has taken over me to the point where I can't even think straight. What does this monster want with my daughter, and why does my daughter look so frightened? Is what I keep asking myself. I'm trying to reenact the initial encounter I had with Carol. I remember her being probably in her mid-40s, where she really didn't let off any kind of mental health concerns, which seems really odd now based on her current actions. As a parent, I was naturally trying to sniff her out, but she passed the smell test. She had dyed brown hair with a few gray roots. She had no marks on her face and she had average looks. She wasn't overweight or skinny. She was dressed appropriately and she was answering questions in an appropriate manner. All of those things combined make her even more scary, because she was purposely attempting to hide her true intentions. If she was a drug addict, then I would have picked up on her being fidgety, or her appearance would have been more disheveled, but not Carol. She did everything right to make herself look and act like every other mother. She was the ultimate con artist, where she completely fooled me. She didn't leave me with anything to follow up on, and she said everything necessary to end our conversation in a prompt manner. Most importantly, she fooled me because she was a woman, and in my mind, I felt at ease at a time when I should have vetted her out better. She wore the best costume as coming across as a mother, so all of my natural guards were down. I know the key to finding Grace is finding any unique qualities that will help me identify Carol based on any type of mistakes that she unknowingly made. She drove a blue Mercury Sable, which is a bit rare in this suburban area. I look online and see that they stopped making the Mercury Sables in 2009. Everyone in this area tries to impress their neighbors by driving BMWs and Lexus, so anything American built would come across as an eyesore. However, she maintained the exterior of the Sable well enough, where it didn't even stand out, which was why I had to rely on Joy in telling me the kind of car she drove. So I know the car she drives, what she looks like, and she told me that she was involved with the Girl Scouts, which may or may not be true. But why come across as a normal person and commit such a horrible act? And how could I let my daughter go on a camping trip with a complete stranger? Because I thought Carol's actions were reserved for men and not women, who look like housewives. I need to stop pacing and start finding answers fast before it's too late. My daughter's Girl Scout group made a mistake by making their group open to the public on Facebook, and because of that, Carol didn't have to necessarily try that hard to find subtle pieces of information on us parents or our kids. In addition, Macy had a fundraiser for her medical expenses that further opened the door into our lives, which Carol may have attended. I can't believe the police still haven't shown up yet. I guess I'm an amateur when it comes to calling 911. I should have used better attention-grabbing words, like how a person says chest pains to be seen in the emergency room right away. I reluctantly decide to contact Macy, who was the old Girl Scout leader, with the hopes that she will have some insight into this horror show. I find her phone number and I have to proceed with caution because she's not doing well because of the cancer. The phone rings several times, and just when I was about to hang up, a raspy female voice answers and says hello. "Hi Macy, I'm Ted. Grace's father from Girl Scouts. I'm really sorry to bother you, but something disturbing has come up and I'm hoping that you might have some answers." "Hey Ted. I'm feeling kind of weak and was about to go to bed. What's going on?" "Okay, I'll get to the point then. Grace, Amanda, and Raquel went on a Girl Scout camping trip earlier today, with a woman who identified herself as Carol, and this is where things get disturbing. This Carol person conned her way into telling me that she was Raquel's mother, and by telling Joy that she was my sister. Someone has been posting TikTok videos of the three girls, where they all look terrified, and I don't know where the girls are located now. Do you have any information on this Carol woman?" "Wow Ted. This sounds like a horrible situation. Let me ask you, have you tried calling the campground where they were supposedly going?" I received a text from Joy, where she stated that Raquel's mother had done that, and then the campground had no one there that fit the girl's description. "Did you meet this Carol woman? If so, what did she look like?" "I did meet her briefly, where she looked very ordinary, so much so that I'm thinking it was the ultimate disguise. She had brown hair, fair skin with no marks, she was about 5 feet 4 inches tall with an average build. Her speech was clear and she acted appropriately. She picked up the girls in a blue Mercury Sable, however somewhere along the ways, she transported the girls in one of those little yellow school buses. She also said that she had experience being affiliated with the Girl Scouts." "Did you call the police?" "Yes, and apparently this is not considered a priority because the girls were going on an intended camping trip and I didn't see any signs of them being abused in the videos." "Oh my gosh, let me think about this. I'm having trouble thinking straight with all of this chemo that I have been taking. Think about anyone who you have met recently, who might fit Carol's description. You know, there was this woman who made it a point to talk to me in the parking lot during my benefit dinner. I remember bringing a box to my car and she was parked right next to me. She did have a blue car that kind of resembled what someone's grandparents would drive. I don't think I had ever seen her prior to that night. We had a brief conversation where she was asking me how I was feeling and things along that nature. I met so many people that night, so I really have to jog my memory to remember her, which is especially difficult because of my current condition. You know, now that I think of it, she did have something that stood out. She wore a ring on right hand and she had no rings on her left hand. It's just something that I look at when I meet people. Was there anything about the ring or with her that stood out? Yeah, the ring wasn't your typical diamond or cubic zirconia. It looked more like a class ring or some type of fraternal ring. Not something that most women would typically wear, but not completely out of the realm of possibilities. Huh. You're right, and now that you say that, I can recall her wearing a ring when she opened the tent in one of the videos. Well, hopefully that will help you. Listen, Ted, I can't keep my eyes open anymore. If I could think of anything else, then I'll contact you. Good luck, and I hope the girls come home safe. I went right away to look at that last video again. As painful as it was seeing my daughter in that emotional state, however, I have to take a look at that ring. There still hasn't been another video posted, but it hasn't been an hour yet either. I watch the video and press pause when it gets to the part where she's opening the tent. I have to keep myself together as the tent is a constant reminder of my daughter's current situation. I wish that I could stop shaking and sweating, but my mind is in fight mode to protect my daughter, however I have no one to physically fight. I'm starting to hate TikTok because of the no fast forward or rewind capabilities built into watching the videos, so I have to press pause exactly at the right time or else, I have to start the video over again. I keep on hitting pause and zoom in on her right hand. The video is so dark that it's hard to make out anything. Just when she opened the tent, she seemed to hold her hand still, just long enough, where I could get a decent enough look of her hand and the ring. Macy was right in how the ring looks a little unusual for a female to wear. The ring is kind of box-shaped and is silver with some type of stone in the middle. That might be blue, but it's hard to tell because of the poor lighting of the video. I could barely make out some type of lettering, which seems to form words. I'm fairly certain based on what I can see, that I can make out the word serve and maybe 2019. You motherfucker. I yell out as I throw a punch into the air.